Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Kol halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000, the tabernacle of David, who are to be the judges and new government here on earth. All right, set up by the one who the world fraudulently and falsely calls JC. His name is Yahweh Shai. All right. And heaven will be here on earth, as it says in the Bible. The book of Revelation, when he saw the new Jerusalem coming down, and those that will be governed will be found in Revelation 7:7. 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. The 144,000, the new government here on earth, righteous, immortals. All right, ruling over all of mankind, enforcing the laws of heaven on earth as it is in heaven. All right, and to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black thing only. All right, the Israelites are still scattered. The people over in the Holy Land are imposters. And to the rest of the Akwaf, the few sisters that are listening and learning, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm coming at you another lesson in truth. And this won't be a long one. It's just a quick one to get the day started. And how Esau's tongue is falling upon himself, and his women definitely against him and turning against him. And violence against women has been perpetuated mostly by the so-called white man. There is no nation of people who've committed more violence against women, more violence in the earth, period, than white males. As a matter of fact, 95%, 95+%. I think they saying 95%. I think it's more of your mass shootings are done by white males, mostly Republicans or in red states. All right. But let's read the disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So you're looking at the David Parkman show, and the name of the video is "Oh No, Epstein Victims Implicate Trump." Well, duh, we all knew that, and I'm gonna let some of this video play, but before I do so, let me read another scripture. This is Luke 12:2, and it reads, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known." Right, and one more. Psalm 64:8. And it reads, "So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." So right now, truthfully said, Esau, Edom, is his own worst enemy. Because in this real-time collapse of America, the most devious and evil history that it has been revealed, and these horrible acts that are done by the government, which is supposed to be a Christian government under God, continuously to the people of the nation, to the nations around the world. I would probably say, Most of the information that comes out on Esau Edom is from Esau Edom. The Lord has put a spirit on them. They can't help but tell on themselves. All right. And his women collectively are very much against him as he continues to violate his own laws that he creates. You know, he creates laws, and what he's showing you is that those laws were meant for everyone except him. See, including white women. The white women are supposed to follow the law, along with all the other citizens of America. But the white male, literally, within certain realm of circles, they deem themselves above the law. No, those laws, those are for you. Because Trump, and well, he's not the first president, you know. They've all been violating the law of the land. But this guy, as a matter of fact, before we even go to this tell-all, just to prove what I'm talking about, let's go to this, some of this evidence that came from my beloved secret disciple / on-the-spot reporter. Prove how he just violates the law of the land continuously. Okay, here's a short one. Let's play this one.
It's Thursday afternoon, about 1:20 p.m. West Coast time. I just saw a report that the Trump administration, the DOJ, is contemplating banning transgender Americans from owning firearms. At first, that's wildly unconstitutional. Where's the Second Amendment crowd? Mute as they have been for the last 8 months in the face of actual tyranny. But now Donald Trump is actually trying to take away people's guns. And the reason that they're trying to do that is because they've got their brain-dead, inbred, fart-huffing Gomer base believing that transgender people are responsible for mass shootings. I can't remember the length of time. It was over the last 5 or 10 years. Transgender people were responsible for 0.09% of mass shootings. 95-ish% of mass shooters are cisgendered, heterosexual white men.
Yep.
So they're going to take guns away from transgender people. Mental health that Republicans are cutting billions of dollars in funding for.
Giving it to the Israelis.
These people are a bummer, man. They're just a real bummer. And I'm trying hard to not just report bad news all the time, but, you know. So Donald Trump is trying to take away guns from law-abiding Americans.
And he's actually
potentially wildly unconstitutional.
It is wildly unconstitutional. Now, you know, the hell with alphabet lifestyle people, don't give a damn. But, you know, they're going against the law of the land. So Esau makes rules that he does not follow himself. That being the point here. All right. Here's one more for you. This is Gerald Celente and my man Judge Napolitano. I believe both these dudes are Jake too. Both of them.
What people should know about? Well, people should know that 2 days ago, the President of the United States directed the United States Navy to blow up a speedboat that had 11 young men on it, whom the President said were trying to deliver drugs to the United States of America. This occurred in international waters, but off the coast of Venezuela. This amounted to a pre-conviction extrajudicial execution, otherwise known as murder.
Yep.
We don't do that to people in this country. If you think they're delivering drugs to the United States, you wait until the boat enters American waters, you stop the boat, you search the boat. If there are no drugs, you let them go. If there are drugs, you seize the drugs and you arrest the people on the boat. You don't execute them for a crime that wasn't charged and wasn't proven, and even if it had been charged and had been proven, doesn't carry the death penalty. That's what Trump did yesterday.
Your president is a liar, a killer,
a thief. So Yeah, he's not a killer. He's a murderer. There's a difference. All right. But the fact is that he just outright murdered those men. And in international waters, some could perceive that as an act of war. All right. And there's no proof of anything that he said about them at all. And and like the judge said, even if it were, it doesn't carry a death sentence. So let me get a receipt, and I'm gonna play, a few minutes of this video. You have this man in office that continually violates the law of the land. So for those of you who don't understand it, I'm going to read you. This is from the Black's Law Dictionary, okay? All right, the law of the land. The general misconception is that any statute passed by legislators bearing the appearance of law, all right, constitutes the law of the land. So it's not, if it doesn't, and listen up. The U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and any statute to be valid. All right, so that means any any of these executive orders that they just pop up with, going back to when the C-19 thing and, anything, no matter what it is. All right, including Title 4D, Title 4G child support, have to bring it up. Completely not aligned with the Constitution. All right. But it says the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and any statute to be valid must be in agreement. It is impossible for a law which violates the Constitution to be valid. This is succinctly stated as follows: all laws which are repugnant to the Constitution are null and void. So anything that any legislator, any president, any congressman, anybody signs into law, any mayor, any governor, they push forth any statute or order that is not in agreement with the Constitution is repugnant and non and void. That law is not lawful. So we're dealing with a people, especially when it comes to this white man. This so-called white man, he's not white, right? You can see people standing there wearing white and their skin is not white. They're actually red. Salakia. You can actually see their skin color now, just like the Bible describes them. And the first came out red. And these people, they violate the law of the land. Especially these males, and mainly Democrats and Republicans. Though the law of the land was meant for others, it wasn't meant for them. And they're showing you that now more so than ever. So let's hear what some of these victims that they've been trying to silence. And then the flyovers, they just happen to fly over right then and there. Of course, that wasn't in order. I'm sure that they weren't meant to distract, because one thing I'm going to agree with this David Parkman guy says, all right, who's a small hat, that they want this story to go away. All right.
And while what I endured will haunt me forever, I live every day with PTSD. I live as a mother trying to raise my child while distrusting a world that has betrayed me. This kind of trauma never leaves you.
Is this why? Is it this simple? Is this why Trump doesn't want the Epstein files released? Now, in another moment, which has become the subject of a lot of controversy, Anouska DeGiorgio was interrupted by Donald Trump's military flyover as she was speaking about Ghislaine Maxwell. We don't know if the flyover was deliberately timed to try to interfere with this event, but the effect was certainly chilling.
This woman abused children.
used by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell for over 10 years. Ghislaine Maxwell was present for some of my abuse at the hand of Jeffrey Epstein. She was present, she was complicit, she was enabling, and it is appalling and disgusting. And it's one of my worst nightmares that she not only be transferred, but the possibility that's very much going around that she might be pardoned. This is not okay, guys. This is not okay.
Yeah, I did say that a long time ago. My first trip to the Palm Beach residence, I drove there from the airport with Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey and Ghislaine were always very boastful about their friends, their famous or powerful friends, and his biggest brag forever was that he was very good friends with Donald Trump.
All right, so that's part of that same clip that we heard earlier. Now, there's a smear campaign against the victims. Not surprising. This happened.
Not surprising. It's a smear campaign. This is what Esau Edom does, right? You know, when it's just like when Jake gets murdered, you know, by some racist police officers or some racist Edomite. You know, they'll put up he's the victim, beaten to death, shot, killed, whatever. If they have a criminal record, they'll go and put up, you know, everything that they ever did wrong. All right. So basically what they do is they want to give a negative narrative to the public, to the viewing public, all right, so that it softens the blow. It makes it okay what happened to them because they were a bad person and they probably, you know, deserved it. And that's literally the thought process behind this sort of slander, all right? But just goes to show you, man, that this man, when the scripture says never trust thy enemy, because if he'll do this to your own, if you'll target your own people, the women of your tribe, you know, your own people, and systematically grape them, you know, at such a young age, you know, and prostitute them and it's just beyond wicked, man. And then men like this, these same men get to run for office, you know, be lawyers, doctors, law enforcement, presidents, congressmen. This is Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach 14:5. And it simply reads, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his good. So if this man would do this to himself, to his own people, to his own children, what the hell do you think he's going to do to you? All right. You Jakes out there, Jacob. We are behind enemy lines. We are in danger. Every breath that you take, every move that you make. All right. Just like the song says, this man is around you. If you don't have the covering of the Lord, anything could happen to you at any time. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, Kwam Yasarala, Abba Babal.